all that kind of shit. We're like, okay.
But what if
Just
CNN and Fox News and all that? I know you hate them, Eddie, but what if they just they create kind of this panic? What if they just on 24/7 car crashes and people dying from obesity and we'd be fucking terrified.
We'd be terrified.
But it's not in our face. But it's way worse.
The media
than Corona.
is so powerful.
So powerful.
So powerful. They can get the people to believe in fucking anything. Anything. If they said, guess what? We found Santa Claus's fucking bones in the mountains and fucking in Norway, people would believe it. They'd go, dude.
A lot of people would.
They'd be like, you know what, dude? They found Santa Claus bones.
They'd be flying up there right now.
Dude, the media's powerful as fuck. Yeah.
Well,
super powerful.
This disease is a good example of it. It's not something that we shouldn't be afraid of. We should definitely be afraid. We should be afraid of something that could come down the pipe that's more deadly. That's what we should be afraid of. That's what those people at the Center for Disease Control told me and Duncan when we did a show there years ago. They were saying what we really have to worry about is these diseases just jumping at people. He said that it happens all the time. They can't control it.
But learn from China. Learn from Italy. They were unprepared. They didn't take it. Or maybe they just didn't know, didn't have the resources, but learn from their mistakes.
They tried to suppress information. They tried to suppress information.
Well, China
they were too busy with the moon. They went to the moon?
Who did?
China. They went to the moon.
I think it's different people.
No, China
I know, but
went
China
to the moon.
has 1 billion people.
That's a lot of people. Bro.
Last year. They got video. You can watch the show.
But they didn't blast it out?
No,
they did, but no one gave a fuck. It was so weird.
They sent a drone to the surface of the moon.
To the dark side. To the dark side of the moon.
That's kind of dope.
It's a dope move.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
The Chinese are awesome. Come on, man.
This is the other thing, Joe, about the coronavirus.
Is that Callan?
Callan will jump on this.
Oh my God, he's here. What is he at? Wine and cheese. Called it.
No wine and cheese.
This is the best you've ever dressed.
Oh, you have a kombucha and a water bottle? That's it?
You look
I'm so
great.
disappointed.
You look fucking great.
Hey,
Corona.
Easy.
Corona.
Slow down.
Don't be afraid, Bubba. Come on.
Cooties, bro.
You're not afraid of the corona. Come on, bro.
We don't shake hands around here.
Come on, dude.
Elbow
it's a
up.
5G.
But with the corona, they're also saying that, because the lack of testing, there might be way more people with it. So it shows that how it's not that deadly. Because we know how many people die, that's for sure. But we don't know how many people have it. So it could be less deadly than we think. Well, I like to think of the glass half full, Joe.
It does make you
think.
And
your texts worry me.
It does make you think about the flu, too. I mean, if this is supposed to be 10 times more, potentially 10 times more deadly than the flu, right? This is what the worst case scenario.
They make a lot of predictions, man.
They do.
And
how they're trying to do
right
that
with these predictions? If we start going, how often are they right?
You're right, but if they are right, we have to be prepared for the worst. See,
hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
Exactly. It could be an inconvenience to be prepared for the worst.
Oh,
but it should open up our minds and our brains as to what is causing this, and is there another way to generate food?
Papa, give me a glass.
When we're old, when we're in our 80s, the kids during those times are going to look at us as weird because old people love toilet paper. They just hoard toilet paper. Because from this point on, we have never lived through a toilet paper shortage. I have never. You heard about that shit.
Toilet paper shortage. Really, what the problem is way bigger than that. It's we're making diseases. The way we raise food is making diseases.
In China.
I wasn't talking about
not just
that.
in China.
No, I'm just talking about toilet paper. I wasn't talking about the virus.
But I'm saying just
SARS.
the virus. It's crazy. We're making viruses.
Well,
avian flu. That was bird agriculture, right?
Yeah.
Swine flu. That was pig agriculture. When they jam all these animals together, occasionally one of those fucking bugs will jump ship.
That's Blanton's.
Didn't the Ebola,
scary stuff.
Marburg, Ebola, these hemorrhagic fevers came from fruit bats, I think?
Yeah, that came from another animal.
Yeah.
And who knows where they came from?
There's there's tons of these flus though, Brian, are the ones that jump.
And they're all coronavirus. They're all labeled as coronaviruses. They're just different type of. They're all the same strain.
Well,
but
SARS
mutated.
apparently was more deadly even than this one.
And that's China too.
It's a wake up call, man. It's a wake up call for anybody that has anything to do with regulating how people raise food.
But
there's been mistakes made.
But this does seem like a massive overreaction. In terms of a virus that only kills people who are the mean age is 81.
That die.
Sam Harris told me about some dude who's in his 50s who's on a ventilator.
That's one example.
But he might have a bad immune system.
So, who knows what could have happened?
Yeah.
Who knows what could have happened? But that could happen. That's
yeah.
not a normal thing for a guy who's really fit.
My dad's scared. You know, my dad's 60. My dad's terrified. And that thing you sent, and he sent a thing to the group text where it says Trump confirmed coronavirus. And you click on it, it's just this dude sitting on the edge of bed with this black dude.
That
with
guy's famous.
With
He's
the fattest,
famous. He comes up a lot.
with the fattest cock, with the fattest cock you've ever seen in your life. It's great because everyone's gonna click on it. So I sent to I thought it was funny. I sent to my dad. Didn't find it funny at all. That's hilarious. Oh, he put what the fuck? Who would find this funny? I'm like, oh, my bad.
Oh God.
Tom Segura sent us a picture that says, "If you know this guy's face, you have fucked up friends."
Yes.
Is he a real porn star?
Oh my God! If he is, he's the
Hopefully.
best.
Dude,
H1N1
Oh shit!
though.
John McDessie.
H1
Who's he fighting?
these are good fights.
This is a really good card.
Yeah,
guys.
Johnny Walker's fighting.
Gilbert Burns versus
Damian
Damian
Maia.
Maia.
Great
That's a
fight.
great fight. Who is Hanato Moicano fighting?
God,
Jamie, do you have the?
the card's pretty stacked. It's better than the last card.
It's a very good card.
And usually in Brazil they show up, but when there's no one in the crowd, what's weird is if
Trinaldo. Oh, this is a good fight.
Trinaldo's 67 years old, but this is a good
Bro,
fight.
he's a bad motherfucker though.
Yes.
That guy throws.
Dude, he is.
From the beginning of
looks
his
like a
UFC
human
career,
pit bull.
He's always been tough.
been a dangerous
A
fight.
dog.
A dangerous fight.
What's
Very
weird is
dangerous.
if you can listen because there's no crowd and you just hear Michael Bisping's voice narrating it, right, commentating,
Yeah.
it sounds like you're watching a golf event. Because they're kind of subdued too because there's no energy.
Oh, man.
So he's like, and he goes to mount. Elbow here. Ooh, oh
my God, there's nobody here. There's nobody here.
No, there's no one there
There's
in the crowd.
no one in the
So weird.
crowd. Bro, we're living in a movie.
Oh, it's so weird.
This
horror
is the
movie,
strangest
Rogan.
shit ever. We're living in a movie.
It's a horror movie.
Why didn't we have this reaction with H1N1? That put a lot of people down
Dude, there's
and
an
killed
empty
people.
arena here.
Right, but the swine flu was fucked a lot of people up.
But this
I know
is
some
Way more
this
people
is
dangerous.
this
Yeah.
is madness.
It's insane.
This is madness. It's an empty arena, and the
still
the
don't know
fights
who's
are still
telling us.
happening.
Dude, Tom Hanks has it, you son of a bitch.
Tom
Talking to you,
Hanks.
Brian.
And guess what? He'll be fine.
Yep, he'll be fine. It's Tom Hanks.
I don't get it. I'm still confused. Nobody's told me why this virus, none of the others.
It's all theories.
Well, there's some real dangers that it might be as much as 10 to 15 times stronger.
You don't
than
think
a-
the
than a
media?
standard
You don't
flu.
think the media is running with this because it's bad for Trump? And it kills
well,
the economy. And that's all.
I don't
that's his
think the virologists have that in mind when they make their decisions. I think all these disease experts are trying to save millions of people from unnecessarily dying. They're trying to stop a disease in its tracks. That's what they're doing, Eddie. They've done this forever with polio. They've done this with smallpox. This is what they do. They try to stop
Pull out all the
diseases in their
stops.
tracks. Diseases are trying to kill us every fucking day. It's as if we have a war. And there's a war against viruses. It's almost like a real war against a thing, but we don't think of it as a thing because you don't
can't
see
see
it. But it's an attack on the human system.
Yeah.
It's an attack on human beings, and it's constant and it's evolving. It's always changing. There's too many of us, and that's what it recognizes, and it's trying to get rid of us.
It's crazy.
I'm learning how to fight
How many people have died in the U.S. so far? from this?
50,000.
50.
No, 50.
50.
50.
And what is the average
Very
age?
few, very few.
What is the average age?
81.
80-something.
And the NBA and all
Canceled everything.
Everything canceled.
Well,
There's
'cause-
nobody in the audience.
Well, no, because this.
And the average age is 80?
Yeah.
You would think, like,
they're worried about
if you-
going home,
You
Eddie.
would think if you just found out about this, you just woke up from a coma, and then you see how everything's
And it
canceled.
was Ebola.
You would be thinking people were dying on the streets.
Correct.
Running on. It was like the zombie apocalypse.
That's why I'm asking.
Stay home. There's zombies on the streets.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why.
That's what you would think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what you would think.
You're right.
But the average age of the people dying in the United States is 80, and half of them are from an old folks' home in Washington. How did they get? And then you see in the back of a Lysol bottle, it lists all the viruses that it kills, and it says human coronavirus. I'm like,
says
isn't this
99%,
new?
yeah.
Isn't- I thought this was a new. Oh, but it's a different strain. So I'm like, wait a minute. The average age is 80?
Pause for a second and give people the time. It's 2:30 of the first round, 2:29, 2:28, 2:27, 2:26, 2:25. So if you want to sync it up, we're watching John McDessie versus Francisco
A
Trinaldo.
southpaw versus an orthodox.
Trinaldo is a badass kickboxer. He's like Shaw and I were saying, he's always a dangerous.
Oh, he never has like an off night. He's just
Yeah.
He
such
looks
a
like
vet.
he's been fighting since he was 7.
It is a weird thing to see no audience, and it's a weird thing to think that so many people are so afraid of this that they don't do anything and go out. But it kind of makes sense if it's as bad as they think it is. Now, if it's not as bad as they think it is, the problem is there's going to be a lot of people that are not going to believe them.
The next
if
one.
something comes up that's
The
worse.
next one's the
No,
problem.
no, they'll believe everyone, dude. We believed everyone so
Well,
far.
the
People
younger
forget.
generation
People
will.
forget. No.
Some people will.
This is going to work over
I know
and
I
over
wouldn't.
again.
I know
It's
I
gonna-
wouldn't.
It always works.
Well, I don't know.
It always works. It works every 2 years. Ebola,
I don't
Zika.
think it's a works, Eddie. I think there's a
every 2
constant battle going on between people and viruses. This is a story that has a real.
I'm just saying they
clear
could do this
beginning,
again in 2
but
years.
But it has a real clear beginning, and you could follow the history of viruses in the United States and in the world.
It's kind of like the purge, right? Where it's
They've
taking
always
out
existed.
the old, weak people to be shitty about it. It's
Bro,
like, I call it the
diseases-
boomer virus, and people
Some
are not
diseases
happy.
take out the young, like polio.
There's or the Spanish flu, right? That was really
Polio?
bad for young guys
Yes,
with
18
great
to
immune
23
systems.
or something weird,
Was
yeah.
killing a lot of guys with great immune systems by some way, the way it attacks. And this is what the 1920 or when was that?
1920.
Didn't hygiene fix most of that?
Well, 1920.
Sanitation,
Yeah.
right?
Eddie
right.
just doesn't. It fixes a lot of it, yeah, but
Infrastructure
it
did.
doesn't stop it. Viruses
Science
always
did.
All
exist.
Brian is saying is, where are the bodies? That's all he's saying.
That's what I'm
Oh
asking.
no, I hear
Where
you.
are the bodies
I
at?
hear you.
Like,
Well,
if you had to describe what the disease was to a guy just woke up from a coma, and then like he must go, oh my god, NBA canceled. There's nobody at the UFC. This is insane.
It's a flu for most of us.
The guy would think like, what is it, 1,000 times more powerful than the flu?
Right.
And then you would say, well, it's not even quite. The flu is so far this year. The flu is kicking its ass because 20,000 people in the U.S.
Yeah.
have died so far since January 1st.
But the
It's
thing is, Eddie,
kicking its
this
ass
is
so far.
relatively
But
new,
They're
though.
thinking it's going to. Yeah, I know.
They don't know is the problem.
My thing is maybe that we're trying to,
Oh.
the scientists at CDC might be saying, let's stop a peak in
Yes,
cases
correct.
that overwhelm hospitals and our infrastructure because we don't have the infrastructure yet to deal with this. This might be a very good dry run for if when we really do face a major virus
point, B.
that's really a killer.
Well, it's
point.
a wake-up call to people that are living their lives like this can't happen.
What about the homeless?
I'm one
what
of those
about the
people.
homeless
I'm one
right
of
now in LA?
they're
What
always
about
in
that?
trouble.
They're like, finally, the world
What
comes
about
to my
that?
level. That's what they're saying.
come on
What I'm
down.
saying is right now, it's hard to buy hand sanitizer,
Yeah.
and no one wants to shake hands.
Yeah.
So we're like cleaner than we've ever been as a society. But
Which is good.
But
them homeless are the dirtiest ever of
Well, they're finding
in human
diseases.
history.
Yeah,
in
they're
human
dying
history,
of
those are the
things.
dirtiest.
They're finding like
The Black
medieval
Plague and
diseases.
shit, right?
Bubonic
Yeah, what
plague,
about
tetanus.
them? What do we do
All of them
about
have
that?
chickenpox.
well, we don't want to be rude.
No one says. No one is saying exactly. Nobody's
rude.
bringing that up.
Did you hear what? Did you hear what Corona-
Don't.
You're-
Everyone's wearing face masks. Nobody is shaking hands anymore. There's gonna be a time when we say, "Dude, remember when people used to fucking shake hands?"
That's why the Japanese
dude. When I was a
bow.
kid, people. I remember that kids would.
Really?
Dudes
Yeah.
would touch hands. I
You know,
remember that.
we should bow to
that
each
we
other.
all have to recognize when it comes to homeless or anything like that is like you're not responsible for other people's actions. Now, some people might have done things to get them to that position that were foolish, or they got addicted to drugs, or their life fell apart. All these things could be contributors, right? But you're not responsible for them. And to pretend that we are and that we should just leave them there is ridiculous. Like if someone was just littering where they are and just throwing shit in the street and throwing needles in the street, you'd arrest them. But you don't arrest them, and they're setting up camps under these bridges. Like, this is nonsense. You got to figure this out.
insane.
You got to either find them some way, some form of cheap housing for people
Which is
like
what
that.
they're, which is what they're trying to
And
do.
medical
And
help.
services, medical help.
Medical
Where did
help.
they
And just
come
change
from?
whatever the budget is for other things. It's
Mental
got to be
health.
shifted to that, right? Like, that's a real problem.
Yes.
I think there should
never
be someone
happened
out there
before.
interviewing as many as possible.
A lot more
Get their
crazy, though.
Maybe they have a story, but nobody will listen to them because they're crazy and homeless. But maybe, like, why are these people on the street all of a sudden? Like, what the fuck happened?